Good evening. Praise the Lord to everyone. God bless you all for being with us on tonight. So glad to see each and every one of you that is joined on with us. God bless you, our sister Marianne Hinton. So glad to see you on tonight. Missionary Angela McIntosh. God bless you. Thank you for being with us. Evangelist Tyrena Thomas from the Florida area. I pray all is well. I know they were talking about the storm that's headed for Florida. So if you can, just let us know how you are doing. We're praying all is well. God bless you, Mother Terry. So good to see each and every one of you that have started to join us on tonight. Well, we're in the month of October, and I'm so happy to report that on tonight it's our money matters segment. Thank you, Natasha, for putting that up with Natoya, and we're excited. And we're glad that she's here. You know, it's every so often we're glad to have these different specials where we're able to just come in and just share information that that we know that would be a benefit to everybody, anyone that's watching, whether you're in the church or you're out of the church, and understanding money matters. And we understand that money matters is a kingdom principle. There's kingdom principles behind prospering and being good stewards over the things that God has entrusted in us, from our offerings to paying our tithes to our investing. And so there's even a parable in the Bible dealing with the talents in the book of Matthew. So we're just grateful to the Lord that we have people within the kingdom of God who has put in time and invested their time and their energies and their monies to learn about money matters, various things. And we've learned some things from Natoya. And so we're just excited to have her with us on tonight. So before we get started, you all know what I'm going to say. I need you to like, I need you to share, I need you to let others know that we are on. The ministry, is so appreciative. Thank you, Tasha. Yes, subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Facebook at Sisters of the Hood Ministries. You know, from time to time, and we're still trying to figure out why it's happening. Time to time, people are trying to get in on the broadcast through Facebook Live, and StreamYard has made some changes, and it's causing people not to be able to get in. And this is why we want to encourage you to go to our YouTube channel and subscribe to the YouTube channel. You're able to watch the broadcast from there. All right. So again, let others know that we're on, and we invite them to come on and be a part of the broadcast. So we're going to open up in a word of prayer, as we always do, because we want to acknowledge God in all that we do. So Father, in the mighty name of Jesus, we thank you, we bless you, and we honor your presence for being so very good to us. We thank you, Father, for keeping us throughout the day, keeping us throughout the month, just being our keeper. God, you have been so faithful to us. You've been so loving, and you've been so kind towards us. Oh God, many things that we see happening in the world, and as the writer says, many things about tomorrow we just don't seem to understand. But we know who holds tomorrow. And Father, we're so glad that you are the one that is holding our hand. You are the one that is holding us up. You are the one that is sustaining us. You are the one that's keeping us. You are our strength. You are our hope. God, you are the one that we look to. We look to you for the answers, and truly we will find truth in you, Father, for you are the way, the truth, and the life. So, Father, whatever we are in need of, whatever the viewers are in need of on tonight, Father, we pray and ask your blessings over them in the mighty name of Jesus. Whatever it is, we know that there is nothing too hard for you. There is nothing impossible. There, you are able to do exceeding abundantly above all that we can even ask or think, imagine, Father. You go above and beyond. And so, Father, we just want to continue to thank you We want to continue to lift you and honor you. We're asking you, Lord God, to forgive us of our sins, forgive us of our trespasses, anything we may have said or done, oh God, that may have offended someone. Forgive us, have mercy upon us. Oh God, we ask you in the name of Jesus. Now, God, I ask that you remember every viewer that's watching, those that may watch later. I pray your blessings over their life. Have thine own way. I pray that you would bless tonight's segment, that we will leave here informed. Thank you, Lord. We will leave here informed, and we'll be wiser. We'll be wiser stewards of our funds. As we can see, the economy is what it is, Father, and we put our faith and our trust in you, oh God, and we don't want to walk in ignorance concerning money matters, but we want to walk in the full knowledge and understand it. Yes, God, we want to be able to understand it. Lord, again, we love you. We thank you for this opportunity, even as a ministry. I thank you for every worker, for everyone that is connected to us, oh God. We thank you, Father, for allowing us to be a voice on tonight. I pray, God, that you would continue to move by your spirit and have your way. And all these blessings we pray in Jesus' mighty name. We say amen. So I'm going to get Natoya up. I hope she's ready to come up. Good evening, Natoya.
Good evening, Pastor Kim. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, doing
You're
good. A
doing
little
good. Did
tired,
you?
but good.
I listen. I think a lot of us. Well, you know how Monday is.
Yes.
Mondays. Someone wrote the song Mondays.
I
So
need another day of the weekend.
yeah, yeah. But we're just grateful. I see the people are coming in, and we just want to just before
Okay,
we
that's
just don't
good.
mind, we give a little shout out to um um our mother Linda Frank. God bless you. We love you so much. Lisa Keys, God bless you. So good to see you. Bishop John, our big brother. Oh my God, he's my big brother from another mother, and we just love him. I've known Bishop John. Oh wow, it's been over 40 years. 40 years, yeah. And he gave me a shout out this morning on his afternoon prayer. So we just love him and we thank him for he and his wife and his children. Elder Eddie Johnson, another strong supporter. We give God praise for you. Thank you. Thank you for seeing you, Renee Duhaney. God bless you. Beverly Hay, God bless you. Thank you all for being with us on tonight. Amen. And so we're just glad. Vivis Martin on Facebook, I'm sorry, on YouTube. Thank you, sis. Thank you, sis, for being on. All of you that are joining us on YouTube, we thank you so much for subscribing and joining us. So, Natoya, we haven't been with you. Haven't been with us
The
since
last quarter.
the last quarter.
Yeah.
The last quarter. So I know that you have been very, very busy, very, very busy, and so we're just grateful to the Lord. I don't know if you want to share a little bit or
Yes, I have been busy trying to liquidate some things that I have and also busy planning for, the rest of the year and also planning for next year. So I'm
okay,
actually planning for next year starting now.
okay,
And so I've been busy with that, busy, like I said, with just looking at my portfolio and seeing, where I want to go for next year and just making some adjustments where that is concerned. I just want to be a little bit more strategic and also just want to be a little bit more liquid because of things that are happening in the economy. Some things are being tightened, so I just want to make sure um that I have some funds available. I'm anticipating that some additional opportunities will come about, which I've already been seeing some spotlights of that. So I just want to be in position. We talk about being ready, right? The Bible talks about
yeah,
being ready.
yeah,
So like you mentioned earlier about principles in the Bible that guides us as it relates to money and
yeah.
our finances and being good steward where that is concerned. So I'm just preparing where in that sense as well. Yep.
So let me ask you, because you said something, and I know that you're dealing with what you was it using debt to what I
How
forgot.
how to profit from debt?
How to
Yes.
profit from debt. So you you said something, and I hope I'm not going to throw you off, but I'm just thinking as we're coming down to the end of a year,
Mm-hmm.
and you said that you're now preparing, because we really want the people to be informed. And I think within our, I'll say, well, in the world, but maybe more so in our culture, um, I don't know if we're as prepared uh, as we ought to be. You probably know better than I do from just moving around in the business world. But one of the things that you did say, you said that you're starting now to prepare for next year. What can you just speak to us a little bit about that? I'm going to let you get into what you're going to
Mm-hmm.
present, but
Mm-hmm.
I just felt that that was kind of important for us to even understand um what that is. Why now?
So the same way, or I won't say the same way, we should, or let's just say I do. I'm being careful about the words I use because I understand that my habits are not everyone's habits.
Right.
And like I said, we should try to exercise what we've been taught as we go to Bible class to learn and get more revelation about what the word means, and just look at different commentary to understand things and context, right? And as we
Mhm.
seek the Lord in our private and our privacy, to get clarification on some of these things. So I would say that what I do is I try to plan ahead for, especially for big events that or big goals that I want to achieve. And the reason is, one, you don't want when the thing is happening, you're just trying to figure out, how do I navigate this? How do I go about it? If it's the funds that I need, how do I get the funds, right? You want to, have some money in reserves, right? So, we don't know what the future holds, nobody has a crystal ball, right? But you try to prepare as much as possible. So in my instance, it's real estate, and in my instances, it's trying to save some additional money or have some money set aside so that when other real estate opportunities come available, I'm in a position to move. I'm in a position to take up that opportunity. Sometimes I can't do the opportunity by myself, and I have other partners, whether it's a very close friend or a business partner that I can partner with, and we go in as a team to take advantage of that opportunity. So what I do is, for next year, I'm already planning to say, okay, these are the markets that I want to be in. Some of them are new to me, so now I got to start looking at my research about to know more about the markets, right? So I got to do that before January comes, or before first quarter comes next year, January, February, March, April, so that I can have a better understanding as, okay, I definitely want to say, for instance, I definitely want to be on the West Coast. These are the areas I want to be on the West Coast. These are the reasons why. These are the counties that I'm looking at. These are the reasons why I'm looking at the county. Maybe it's the population, maybe it's the companies that are there, maybe it's the market analysis that I've done to show that these market are primed for appreciation, right? If that's what I'm looking for, or maybe it's a market that's prime for cash flow, right? So it depends on the strategy that I'm looking to do. And so financial planning, I would suggest for folks to start doing that at the end of this year for next year, right? Because there are some things you'll need to get in to get in place to be ready, right? To start moving on those goals that you have. And so that's partly the reason why I do this at this, the latter part of this year, instead of waiting for January to do this, because there's some legwork that you may have to do, right? So just for folks on the, I know you have different folks on Facebook and folks on YouTube and the different mediums that you have, but you definitely want to sorry, I lost my train of thought for a second. You definitely want to do the financial planning of the end of the year, because there's some legwork that you'll have to do. So say for instance, you want to move on an opportunity, or some of us have heard of opportunities but we can't take advantage because, for example, our credit is not where it needs to be, right?
Hmm.
We're not eligible, or we're disqualified because of credit.
Hmm.
So you might um, want to start working on your personal credit now or your business credit now, so that when it comes to next year, you're in a better position if that opportunity comes again or something similar, then you can take up that opportunity. So
Hmm.
that's why you definitely want to plan now, because you want to look at all the different things that you will need to do to move on those goals, right? To have those come to pass. And so you want to outline what those things are and just start working on them, one at a time, step by step.
Okay. So where would one start? A
uh
common person. You're speaking to us as an expert. Just a very common person. I work 9 to 5. Family. Blah blah blah. Where do I start? Where do I start?
Okay, and we're still talking in the realm of investment and real estate, or you talking general?
I'm talking general. I'm talking
Okay,
because you said
so
that
you
you're
start
preparing
with
now. You're preparing now for next year. So
sure. No,
yeah.
I just wanted to be clear, so I'll know what examples to give that's more relevant or relatable to folks. That's why I was asking if it's
Mhm.
general or specific. So in the general sense, you want to start with, okay, what are the goals that you have? What are the goals that you want to work on for next year? What are the things that you want to achieve next year, right? And you make a note of those, right? And then you say, okay, in order for me to achieve these goals, here are the 5 things that I'll need to do, right? In order to get to those goals. More or less you'll have a general idea of, you won't know every single step, but you'll have a general idea of the categories of things that you'll need to do in order to achieve those goals. And so after you've gone to that list, then you look at, okay, what are some of the things that I will need to do now to get myself in position in order to achieve, let's say, step 1 or general category 1, right? So that's where you do want to start. Start by outlining what your objectives are, what your goals are, and then what are the major categories that under each of those that you'll need to hit in order to achieve that overall goal.
Hmm.
Some of the categories will be budgeting. Some of the categories will be, you need to read a book from, an expert in the area that you want to venture. Some of the categories will be, other personal development, maybe a course that a prerequisite to something that you'll need to take. Sometimes it's not always paid. Sometimes you could get information from other sources, resources that are available. I know sometimes money, can get funny. And as much as you need information, there'll be other things that are happening in life that you may not be able to afford it. But just seek out the information, because I tell you, more often than not, you will find that you're able to get the information that you need to move forward. So
Okay.
that would be my advice.
Okay. That's good. Just most recently, I'm sure you heard about it. How they were the was it the shoremen having the strike,
Correct.
and how if the strike would have continued, how we would have been affected, like
Affected.
really, really, really bad. Um,
Well, some
so
people were already buying up water and toilet paper.
yeah, I know. I happened to see a picture. You would have thought this guy had a store. The amount of toilet paper and paper towels. I'm like, okay. I mean, he was stacked up high, and I was
Wow.
just like, okay. Um, so even with that type of preparation, because we're hearing, we need to start preparing for for things like this that's going to happen.
Hmm.
Um, we experienced it during the pandemic, but it just seems I'm hearing a lot of we need to prepare, we need to, stock up on certain things so that we can be prepared for that. And I would think that part of that is also dealing with our preparation for next year.
Correct. Correct. You definitely want to, have some funds in reserves, however you're able to do that. Like, sometimes we say we can't cut anything else out, right?
Yeah.
But sometimes you really just got to sit down and pencil out the things that you're spending things on, right? The items that you're spending on, because sometimes you'll be amazed, how much you spend on certain things where you could cut back,
Right.
right?
Right.
And I know, just from experience, when we really, really want something done, we find a way to get it done, right? If we got to sell chicken dinners or whatever to to raise the funds, we'll, sell cakes, whatever we got to do, we'll do to get it done. So it's really, for me, it comes down to priorities. And sometimes we do have to make sacrifice today to achieve the things that we want in the future, right? It's a temporary discomfort. That's how I see it, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's temporary discomfort so that you can live the future, you can have that future life that you really want.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you just got to make that sacrifice now. And like I said, if you're able to cut back, great. Find ways to do that, and have savings, because even was it 2008, 2009, 2010, right, when we had the housing crisis, a lot of people said, oh my goodness, I wish if I had 10,000 put down, I could have gotten a house, right, when
Mm-hmm.
things were just going AY. But a lot of things are cycles, right? Life is a cycle.
That's a good
And
point.
though that time will come back again, so you definitely want to, as bad as it was, right, for the folks who are really, really um affected by it, who lost their homes, right? But just looking at it from an investment lens, right? I know it was bad. I'm just looking at it from an investment lens. If you're on the call, and you're interested in real estate, you definitely need to, start preparing for that, because there will be opportunities that will come in the future,
Mm-hmm.
and you want to be in a position where you're able to move on those.
Okay, that's good. One of the things I most recently found out, which I didn't know, and I just happened to be talking to a coworker. If I could just be transparent for a moment, and we just happened to be talking, and she said to me, she's like, well, she was asking me, well, she knows my age, although I have an AARP card. Uh, I am not
Now
officially.
we all can guess your age.
I am not officially a senior citizen, but my husband has met the age requirement.
Okay.
And so she was saying to me, she says, that, you can apply uh, to have your school taxes reduced because he is at a certain
Certain
age.
age.
Did
Okay.
not know, did not know. And I spoke to someone that I know that works up at our local city hall, and she sent forward me the application. So there's always things for us
Right.
to find out, get information. I think it's just again, doing the homework, because that's what I'm hearing you say. Doing the homework, doing the research, asking the questions.
And
Stop.
share the information that you know, because if your
Yes.
coworker didn't share that with you, right, you'd have still not known that information. And now you've shared it with everyone who's now watching us and who will also watch on the replay, because I didn't know that myself. And
Yeah.
so yes, that's another way. Now you'll be saving that additional
Yeah.
fund.
50%. When she said,
Wow.
yeah, she 50%, when she said her school tax was a certain amount and now it's half of that. I was
Wow.
like, what? So, and
You're like,
as you
let me get
said,
on that.
exactly, exactly. So, like you said, it's not going to happen right now,
Right.
but if I find
You're
out what the
preparing for
deadline,
next year.
yes,
Exactly.
yes, get the
Exactly.
application, find out what the deadline is, find out
Hmm.
what documentation that they need, have it all prepared, get it in so that when we do, when it, as you get the cycle, as it comes back around again, we have already done the work. Can I tell you how many deadlines I've missed because I got the information late?
Mm.
Even something as, and I'm just saying this to anyone that has a house, challenging your taxes on your
The
property.
assessment value. The
Yes, the
assessed value.
assessment value.
Because the taxes is based on that, the assessed
Yeah,
value.
and you
Hmm.
can you can you can challenge that and find out if you are being taxed more than you ought to be. Again, get the information. You just missed the deadline, so now it's a thing of, okay. Well, look, another. It's the Lord has blessed us to still be here. Here
Hmm.
comes another cycle. We're coming back around again to it. position. And I've always said to my son that we have to position ourselves for our blessings. And I believe that that's what you're saying
Correct.
in the preparation. We have to do something, because if we were to go back to that parable in the book of Matthew, one of the servants didn't do anything.
I was just gonna say.
Yeah,
Yep.
he took the talent, the money, and he dug a
Buried it.
hole and put it in a hole, and he didn't get a return, although it was going to his master. But yet, and this is what I'm seeing, if we invest, if we do something, we'll be able to see ourselves doing it. You although in the parable it went to the master, but yet you can see what you're able to do with something that's been given to you.
Correct. Correct.
Okay,
Correct.
okay. All right. Well, I'm not gonna. I just, I
No,
those
this
just
was
came
good.
up,
This was good.
and again, and you know what I saw the other day? I saw someone those little Facebook commercials.
Hmm.
Someone talking about tax liens.
Oh, really?
Yes,
But
yes,
do as you watch certain things, Facebook also starts showing you some of similar things. So I'm not that surprised that you did see that. Now that
yeah.
you're tuned in into tax liens, investing, and then and which is totally fine because it's okay to get your information from other sources, and that way you can check like, oh, maybe let me see if what Natoya is saying is really true.
When he
But
came up, I was like, I mean, I have to tell you, I felt really proud. I was like, okay, I know a little bit something about this. So
that's good.
I knew that what he was saying was legit because I already had gotten it from a reliable source.
Okay, good, good, good,
Yeah,
good.
yeah, 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 yeah. So enough of my chit chat with you, but thank you for that information. So I want to turn it over to you so that you can begin to share with us.
Sure.
Um,
I have a presentation. Some of well, I'm not quite sure. I think it was last quarter I did an intro. So some of it I will repeat just because I know sometimes we'll have different people pop in and out um of the um of the Monday night meditation sessions. But there'll be some new material as well that I want to share. And I'm trying to do my part, Pastor Kim, in terms of sharing the information that I have, sharing the knowledge that I have, but really folks really need to take action. um, we're not going to change your situations by continuing to work that 9 to 5. You're not going to get rich or wealthy or comfortable sitting in that 9 to 5, right? Nobody has. You definitely has to have to think about doing something entrepreneurial, doing something for yourself, whether that's active, whether that's passive, whether that's real estate, whether that's crafts, whatever your gifts and talent is or are, because some of us have more than one.
mhm.
All right, we need to work it. We definitely need to work it. And so I'm trying to do my part about sharing information because this is definitely um has changed my life, my finances, and I can see how it can also change the finances for others as well. But my only ask is for folks to actually take action because um, you've been trying to do it a different way all these years. I'm showing you another way. I am showing you another way. All right, so I'll get into my presentation, Pastor Kim. I think let me just make sure I could share my screen. When I do share, I don't think I'll be able to see comments. We
Yeah,
can
I'll
either
be able to
take it
see.
at the end or you can interrupt me
Yeah,
and we could do it that way as well. Let's do a share screen.
just your subject, how to profit from debt. Um, you gonna
I
really have to open. Yeah.
I catch in. Um,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. To say the least.
hold on 1 second. I want to make sure that I
But I do agree with you in regards to multiple streams, of having multiple streams. Again, I go back to the parable. That's what that was about.
right,
The
right.
multiple streams. Okay, let me. You ready for me to share this? Okay. So that's on. You can see that.
Uh, okay, yes. I
Okay.
can see it now. Sorry. I'm looking at it on my my other device here. So yes, I can see you come up now. All right. So tonight we're talking about tax deed and tax deed investing. So I know the title of the presentation is profit from debt. The debt that I'm talking about is tax liens. It's property taxes. That is the debt that I'm talking about tonight. Um, just a little bit of disclaimer. I am not a financial advisor. The information that I'm sharing here tonight is purely educational. It should not be taken as legal advice or financial advice or investment advice. And you should definitely consult a professional that's trained and licensed before you make any decisions. All investments involve risk, and you should be aware of your risk tolerance level and your financial situations at all times, right? So, um, Pastor Kim and gave a little bit of background about me in terms of not being new to Monday Night Meditation and also being the host of um, Money Matters. But also want to give you a little bit more in terms of what I do outside of hosting Money Matters. So I am actually a recovered credit challenged individual. What do I mean by that? I was at a point where my credit score was less than 530, right? I know what it is like to w- having such a low credit score and the challenges that comes with that, right? You know, with a low credit score like that, you can't even get an apartment to rent, or if you get the apartment to rent, you probably got to put on double the deposit. How do I know? I've been there. You probably can't get credit cards with that credit. You probably can't qualify for a home with that credit, right? You've really limited with such a credit score. And what I have done is I have actually invested in myself and worked on getting that credit score up. Now, how did the credit score get to that point? I think if you're on my last, when I last hosted, I shared a little bit about my background about getting into foreclosure while I was in divorce, and that's how my credit score actually tanked the way it did. But if you're in a similar situation with a low credit score, I'm here to tell you that you can definitely recover from that. There are some steps that you will need to take, but it is not your end all be all. You can definitely recover from a low credit score. The good thing about tonight's topic is you don't even need credit score to do what I'm about to tell you. Okay. But if you're challenged in terms of finances, you definitely want to work on your credit score because then I'll show you how to use that to for leverage, right? To get finances. I am an old homeowner advocate. I definitely advocate for folks to own their own home. Reason being that you can definitely build equity from that, and then you can use that equity to invest in other things that you want to. It doesn't have to be real estate, right? You know, we all have different interests, but you could definitely use that equity to invest in other ventures and use it as leverage for other things that you want to do. I am definitely a wealth builder, actively saving to acquire more real estate. We talked about that when Pastor Kim was asking me about why is it I'm planning now for next year. That is part of the reason I do that as well. Okay. Now, the strategy I talked about to tell you about is, as I mentioned, it definitely has improved my financial situation and it can definitely improve yours as well. And the strategy is tax lien and tax deed investing. For anyone that's new to this type of investing, I just want to give you an overview as to what it is. So, for when a property owner owns their property, every year they have to pay property taxes, right, to the county for that property. Um, Prior to the payment of those taxes, the county does their budgeting, right? And based on the amount of homeowners and homes in the county, and they know, how much is to be paid by each property, they forecast how much money they should be collecting, right, for the coming year. And so when the reason they do that, or what they use that money for, is that they use the money for to pay for local services like cleaning up the parks, making sure that the water and sewer facilities are treated, making sure that the police department has the funding that they need, and things like that. Now, when the homeowner doesn't pay the property taxes, now the county is going to be at a shortfall because they didn't collect all the money that they had forecasted, right? So now the county has to find a way to get that money. So since the homeowner didn't pay and the county needs the money because they've already um, have all these expenses that they need to pay, the county then puts a lien on that property, and they offer the lien to an investor, right, in the form of a tax lien certificate. So it's a piece of paper that you get. It's a certificate, and in return for the investor paying those back taxes, the county offers a interest rate return. It's not the same percentage across the entire country. It differs from state to state, and the homeowner then will have additional time to make due on those back taxes, and the homeowner will also have to pay the interest, right? So when the allotted time, or before, up to the allotted time that the homeowner has to repay those back taxes, the investor will hold on to the tax lien certificate. The homeowner pays the back taxes plus the interest to the county, and the county administers everything. Everything. The county takes care of sending the check to the investor. The investor sends back the tax lien certificate, and the county does all the administrative work in that's in the tax lien investing world. There is also something called a tax deed investing. This is where you're actually bidding on the physical property. So at the end of the auction, or a few weeks after the auction, you get the deed to the property. So this is the difference between the tax lien certificate and the tax deed. The tax lien certificate, you're getting a certificate and you get interest on your money. Once the homeowner pays, the tax deed certificate, you're actually bidding on the actual property because the county has already taken possession, and you're actually bidding on the actual property. So that is the difference between them both.
Do you become, real quick, do you become the owner with the deed? Do you become the owner
Correct.
of that property?
Right. Correct. With the deed, you become the owner.
Okay, so with the
So
tax,
now you will be, sorry, go on.
no, and also the with the tax lien, um, are you the owner of the property as well?
No, you're just the lien holder.
Ah,
What that
okay,
means is,
right. Because they'll run a check and see if there's liens on the property. Yeah, okay,
correct,
got it. Yeah,
correct. And you will be listed as a lien holder.
okay,
Um, you, not to get into advance with it, but you can have a tax lien certificate, and in some instances, you may end up becoming the deed owner.
okay,
And this is when the homeowner, the homeowner is given a certain amount of time to repay. And if they haven't done that in the time frame, then you can petition the court for you to be the deed holder of that certificate, right? Because you need to get your money back some way that you've
right.
invested. So
Okay,
that's a strategy, but I don't want to get too much into that. But generally speaking, when you want the interest rate return, you do the lien. When you want the physical property, you do the deed.
okay, good. Okay,
Okay. Um, so here on this slide, what I've outlined is the three forms. You have a tax lien, which I've just mentioned, where you get the tax lien certificate, and you have a legal claim on the property. With a tax deed, you are bidding on the actual property. At the end of the auction, you actually get the deed, and this is after paperwork. I usually say at the end of the auction, but it's really after the paperwork. Paperwork takes a couple days, right? Um, or a few weeks. And then there's a third category, which is called a redeemable deed. So I just told you that in the deed you get the actual property, but in the redeemable deed situation, the homeowner actually gets an additional time to still pay those back taxes. If they don't pay within that additional time, then you end up with the deed, right?
Hmm.
So that's also a deed situation.
Now that's in, is that in foreclosure or is that just a lack of paying taxes?
So this is a lack of paying taxes, but after they have passed their what we call a redemption period, that is the wait period that they've given. After they pass the wait period, then what you do have a tax foreclosure that happens,
Okay.
and that is how you'll end up with the deed.
Okay. Okay.
In some cases, and I'm just saying things that come to mind. I'm hoping I'm not giving like information overload. But in some cases, the county will take care of it for you, and in some cases, you'll have to have an attorney to do that tax foreclosure for you.
Hmm.
Okay. And this slide is really just to show you that this happens all over the states, right? All over the country that this happens. There are some states that are just only do liens. There are some states that just only do deeds. There are some states that do both. There are some states that does redeemable deeds. So this has been happening for years and years and years. I like to say from dinosaur years, but it's been happening for so long, and a lot of folks are not aware of it. And for those who have been aware, they have been using this to change their financial situation for years, because it is definitely, as you can, as we all know, real estate is a good investment, because over time it does appreciate, and you can definitely use that equity to do other things.
Do you, is there a certain age limit in order to start doing this?
As long as you're 18 and over,
Okay.
legal age,
Okay.
legal age.
Because I was wondering if this was something, if, because there's a lot of young people who are involved in investing.
Well,
So
that's a good question, Pastor Kim. So, um, in order to do the bidding, you have to be over the age of 18. However, you can still get your kids and grandkids, or or nieces or nephews or whoever, right? Involved. They can help you with the research. They can help you, when you go to drive to see the properties, so you could definitely get them involved so they can learn the process, but they just can't do the actual bidding. They can go to the auction and observe as well with you. Or if it's online, they can observe, over your shoulder at the computer. I definitely advocate to get the kids involved, especially they probably will be more savvy when it comes to finding out the information online on the computer to assist you. But yeah, you could definitely get them involved. They just won't be able to do the actual bidding. But once they get to that age, what's to stop them?
yeah. Okay.
They already have the knowledge.
Hmm.
Um, Wanted to highlight also that some of the returns that you will get from these tax liens are very, very high as 36% and as low as 8%. I've seen. Like I mentioned before, you don't need there's no credit check or background check to do this. You can do it as an individual, or you could do it as a business, meaning if you have an LLC or if you have a corporation, you could definitely do it under that entity, or you could do it in your personal name. I would say if this is just your first one and you just want to test the waters, you could do it in your first name, in your name, if that's what you want. But as you look to really take this seriously and do it as another stream of income as a business, you definitely want to do it as an entity to protect yourself. Um, as I mentioned earlier, the liens that you're purchasing are backed by physical property. It's backed by real estate. So you either get your interest rate return or you'll end up with a property. So in my view, it's a win-win situation for you. Like I alluded to earlier, this has been happening for years and years now, and you definitely have hedge funds and banks and other private companies who've been doing this for some time. Folks think that only through the stock market that these hedge funds make their returns for their investors, right? They promise their investors a certain percentage return, right, each year. So in order for them to make good on that, they look for different avenues so to invest so they can make that money to give to their investors, right? One of those other avenues is real estate and particularly tax liens because those interest rate returns are guaranteed returns, right? So you definitely find hedge funds when you go to those auctions. Sometimes you'll be representative that they have. Sometimes even online, you'll recognize that this person or individual probably is a hedge fund just by the way that they're bidding um, in terms of the number of properties that they're bidding on and the amounts. All right. Um, you might be saying this is sounds way too good to be true. It is not. You could definitely purchase a property with no mortgage. What do I mean by that? So tax liens actually supersedes a mortgage. If you have a mortgage on the property and you have a tax lien on the property, the tax lien will wipe out the mortgage. This is why if there's an existing mortgage, the bank will want to make sure that they paid on the behalf of the homeowner because the bank doesn't want to lose their position, right? The bank doesn't want to lose all that money that they lent out for the mortgage. Now, sometimes things falls through the crack, and the bank did get notified, but somehow they didn't make the payment. Sometimes you do find properties that don't have a mortgage, so you have all scenarios there. And I don't try to figure out why someone or an entity does something. I just focus on what my strategy is, what my goals are, and move forward from there. You really don't know why folks behave the way they do, right? So yes, you could definitely purchase the property with no mortgage through tax liens. It might need some work, but once you do your research, and I tell you how to do the research, you can definitely choose a property that might not need a whole lot of work. You do not need a license to do this. So I know you asked me, Pastor Kim, what age, and I said 18 plus. You also don't need a license to do this. You don't need a special license to do this at all. You can get a property that has equity in it. Say, for instance, you purchased a tax lien. Let's just say the tax lien is $2,000. For whatever reason, the homeowner did not pay the $2,000. You end up with the property, but then the value for the property is 100,000. I'm just using, for example, right?
Hmm.
So now you have a property that's worth 100,000 that you only paid 2,000 for, right?
Wow. Yeah.
At this point, you could do whatever you want with the property because you are now the owner. You hold the deed, right? Because you did the tax foreclosure when the homeowner didn't pay and the time had passed for them to pay. So you can, if it needs fixing up, you can fix it up and sell it as market value. You could fix it up and rent it. You could fix it up and live in it. Whatever you want to do with it, it's yours, right?
So, is there a minimum amount of money that a person should start putting aside, or is there a minimum to start even trying to do this?
Um,
I know it might be kind of hard because I guess it depends upon where the property is
it
and
is. It depends on where the property is. And I know sometimes some folks are not able to travel, too far for certain properties. But I find that when I go further the Midwest, it's things are a little bit cheaper there than it is here on the East Coast, right? So I have purchased properties for as low as, well, those the ones that I purchased for a very low price were actually land. So I've purchased land for as low as $250. And I'll tell you in a little bit how you could still make money from land. And I've purchased here on the East Coast physical property for like 12,000. Now, if you don't have 12,000, you and your sister, brother, close friend, or whatever can come together and you get for 12,000 and then you all decide what you're going to do with it. So there's definitely ways. So yes, it depends on where you are, Pastor Kim. It depends on the area and the market. And also depends on if you want a house or if you're okay with getting with getting the land and what you're going to do with the land afterwards.
Okay.
Right. So it'll be cheaper for you to get the land, but you could definitely still um, make profits from the
Mm.
land. And I'll show you an example later. Um, some cons, I just wanted to, give a flip side. Um, it is not all peaches and cream, especially for folks who don't do their homework, right? You definitely need to do your homework. Um, one other con is that the lien may be paid off prior to the sale. What is meant by this is that you may get a list and you narrow, say the list is 100 properties, you narrow down the list to 5 properties that you're interested in. Let's just say based on the price, right? You only have $1,000 to spend, and they're all less than 1,000. These are the 5 that you're interested in. You do your research, you go look at the property and everything, and you're okay. You're ready to move forward on the day of this auction. You go to the auction. Some counties are good about updating information ahead of time, some are not. So you go to the auction, you think they're still available, and they're not because the homeowner paid them prior to the auction. So that's what I mean by that bullet point. Why is that a con? It's a con in the sense that you may have done all your research, and then you're hoping to get this lien certificate so you can make some interest rate on your a return on your money, but that didn't happen, right? You know, they've paid off the back taxes. I wouldn't get too perturbed about this because really we are not in the business of taking folks out of their homes or anything like that. So it's definitely good that they were able to make payments ahead of the sale. And also, if the sale happened and they didn't make the payment, we also want to see that they make the payment even after, so that we can make that interest rate return, and they can keep their homes, right? So I put it out as a con, depending on how you're looking at it. Maybe you're looking to get interest rate on a return on your money, but you didn't, because they paid ahead of the auction, so you didn't get a chance to make that investment. Um, Another con is that payments are usually required at the end of the sale or shortly after. So it's not a situation where you can, you know, after the sale you get like a month or whatever time frame to go get your money together. No, you have to have your money together prior to that sale, because usually at the end of the sale, like 2 p.m. that day, or sometimes it's 5 p.m. By 4:35 p.m. that day, you have to make the payment. Sometimes you get like the next day, depending on the auction, but usually it's not for very long. Usually just the next day, that you'll need to make the payment, if you won any of those bids. Um, you talked about, when you had I forget the question you asked me. If you're the homeowner, if you become the owner or the lien holder, and I said you're the lien holder with the lien certificate, and you mentioned, oh yes, because they have to check if there's other liens on the property. So there may be other liens on the property aside from the tax lien,
Mm-hmm.
and you want to be aware of that. You want to be aware of that because, for instance, if there is like an IRS lien, um, the IRS lien will stay on that property, and that's the only other lien that will supersede you. But they do come off over time, but there is a process. Let's just put it that way, as a summary. There is a process for that as well. But you just want to be aware. Sometimes there will also be like a utility lien. You want to check with the county if that will be removed when the sale happens. Sometimes they are not removed. You want to know what you're getting yourself into, right? Because you might buy this lien certificate and you only want the interest rate return, but it doesn't happen the way you want. And now you end up with a physical property. And if it had other liens on it, and now you have the deed, guess who is responsible for those liens? You are. So you want to check if there's other liens. There's ways to do that, and you want to find out from the county just by giving a phone call if those liens will be removed when the auction happens, and they will tell you. Another con I've listed here is that the property can be occupied by the owner. It could be occupied by a renter, or in some instances, it could be occupied by a squatter. Why do you want to know that
Mm,
information? Yep. And a lot of that has been happening recently too. The reason you want to know that information is, again, you're going in with the intention that you want a interest rate return on your money, but if you end up with a physical property, you want to know if there's a squatter in there, you want to know if there's a renter in there, you want to know if it's actually the owner, right? So that will help to determine what your next steps will be. So it's just gathering information to help you with decisions later on. Okay. Pastor Kim, I'm going to pause for a minute. Any questions that came in any of the chat, whether on YouTube or Facebook?
I haven't seen anything. Nothing. And I'm just praying that we did a test so that it looks like Facebook is
Still up. Okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I got a text request, someone asking for you to come to do something privately, but we'll talk about that later.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. All right. So I will continue then. If anything, you could certainly interrupt me as I go forward. So I wanted to give some examples of some of the things that you could um definitely see on these auctions lists, and some of the benefits that you can have from participating in these auctions. So in this particular example, this is a residential lot. So the top, let me use my cursor. The top left picture is just an overhead view of the actual lot. I show this as well so you could see the neighborhood, right? You could see that this is a pretty um, very clean neighborhood. A lot of residential homes around, right? A typical neighborhood. It looks like somebody here has a pool on the left hand side, right? And then the bottom left one is a street view that's showing the actual lot. You can see that it's between two homes. And then the one on the right is actually a picture of the property that was on the lot before they actually demolished it, right? So this lot, I paid $500 for the lots. I told you that lots are a little bit cheaper than actual homes, and depending on where you go, that will have some impact on the pricing. So I paid 500 for this. The valuation of this is actually 31,000 plus. The square footage is over 6,000. That is important because if I'm looking to build another house on it, or looking to sell to a developer to build a house on it, you want to know what the square footage is, because there are requirements in the counties as to the size of the lot. The size of the lot needs to be depending on what you want to put on it, right? So that's important that you want to know what the square footage is ahead of time, depending on what your exit strategy is. And then also, it already has water and sewer, which is good information, because if you're looking to put another structure on there, and it already has water and sewer, that's money that you can save from doing those from scratch, right? Because that's very expensive to set up. So it's good to know that that's already in place, right? Now, like I said, I paid 500 for this. Um, I believe the attorney fee was either 800 or 850. It's one of those. I think it was 850, and that 850 included her fee plus the title report, right? So I paid the 500 to the county. I waited until the redemption period ended. The redemption period, like I said, is the period that the homeowner gets to make the payment. When that period passed, when that time passed, I engaged, well, actually, before the time passed, because there are certain things the attorney has to do. So before the time passed, I engaged an attorney, and I paid her to do the title report and also whatever her fees were. and she took care of the foreclosure that I talked about earlier. And so at the end of the tax foreclosure, I got the deed to this lot. And as a deed holder to the lot, I can do whatever I want with this property. I am actually I am actually in contract with a developer for this property who wants to put a residential building on the property. So I could have, like I said, I'm under contract with a developer. I could have put something on it myself, but given that I don't have the experience in development, I decided to just sell it to a developer. I could have also looked to partner with a developer, but given that I'm also out of state, this is a property that's in Indiana. I opted to just sell it outright. And we talked about Pastor Kim planning, right? So one of the things I'm planning for next year is to how to align myself better and to make better partnerships. So I could partner with a local developer, hereby getting the experience in terms of development, which is something that I could be beneficial to me in the future, right? So there are certain things you could do, like we talk about not having the experience or not having the money, but there are certain things you could do in terms of partnerships to get to where you want to be.
So now, did this developer seek you, or you sought him or
So
her?
I actually went with a local broker that came highly recommended, and I see why she came highly recommended because she pretty much had a Rolodex of developers that she worked with, and she just made a phone call.
Hmm.
So again, this is why building relationships is important, and having work with individuals who are local is also important. I know people could have said, "Oh, why you had to go through a realtor? Now you got to pay a realtor fee, right?" She already had a Rolodex. I didn't have to go, you know,
And you're out of
go,
state,
and I'm out of state. But imagine if I got 20 phone calls, then I got to go through each of those conversations to find out if they're even serious or
right?
not,
Right.
right? I'd rather just pay the realtor fee. She already has relationships with these developers, and she's happy, I'm happy. Yes, I could have gotten, a couple $1,000s more, but as long as I'm happy, we keep it moving.
That's why corporations use employment agencies to weed through the candidates so that they
Yeah,
don't have to.
yes.
Yeah.
Because the manpower that it's going to cost them to do
Yeah.
that, and if they hire folks to do those background history and all the other checks that needs to do, not only do they have to pay salary to those folks, they got to pay insurance for those folks, medical and dental and everything. There's other costs that comes with it. So they weigh, you know um the different things, and then decide that it's best to just have an agency, outsource that to an agency. But you're certainly right.
So and just if you don't want to answer this, I guess you won't have to. Um, because I don't want to be going too far into your business. So with you getting in contact with this developer, do you now look to sell him the property and let him do what he wants to do, or do you still maintain ownership of the property and you get a percentage of what he's going to be developing on the property?
So what you're describing is something I could have done, and that is a partnership, or yeah, that is a partnership that I would have had to discuss with him and agree to. But I decided to just sell it outright to him, and
Hmm.
he will have full ownership, he will have full rights, and he can make the decisions that he needs to do in terms of what he wants to put on it. But yes, I could have definitely come to an agreement where we make an arrangement where he build a structure, and then I get a percentage of the sale from that residential property once he builds it. But yes, that's something I could have done. But like I said, I am now in the stage of building those relationships, as I move go through my journey. And so what you have described is one of the strategies that I want to employ in the future.
So, and I hope I'm not keeping you too long with this because these are again, you're providing this information for us. So now that you have come in contact with this developer,
Mm.
can you, for future properties that you may invest in, can you deal directly with him, or do you, because you gain this investor through the realtor, are you still obligated to go through her, or can you now deal with him directly? So, say for instance, you find another property and you go right to him, hey, Johnny, I found this other property. You want to look at it. Do you think that this is something that you could work with? Can can you work it that way, or do you still are you still obligated to the realtor?
I'm not obligated to the realtor, but I would also not cut her out because of my strategy. So yes, I could definitely go to him directly because I have his information from um, dealing with the contracts. So I do have his information. I could reach out to him directly. However, I think I would still work with the realtor because she is local and she will be my eyes and ears as to what's happening in the neighborhood. Also, if I'm working with a developer to build a property together, then I will use that realtor as my realtor for the property, right?
Ah,
So
okay.
there's certain the 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 point that I do want to make is you definitely need a team that is local, and that team will include a developer, team will include an attorney, team will include a realtor, team might even include a handyman, excuse me, because everybody has a role to play. And especially if you're like myself, who is out of state and not able to just take a drive around the corner or 1 hour drive, you definitely will see very quickly that it's important that you have those folks locally on the ground.
Hmm.
So I might not use her for this particular property, but I might ask her to look at a property for me and take some pictures because I'm not able to do so, right?
Hmm.
She might oblige me with doing that because she knows that, okay, Natoya is going to work with me on the property over on, XYZ street,
Okay.
right? So it's a part of building that
Uh,
relationship and that rapport.
okay.
Pastor Kim, I have a question.
Okay, we have someone online, Natoya, that has a question. Go ahead.
Um, what if someone has some funds and would like to partner up with her to invest in a property? Does she do that?
Okay, does she personally will she personally partner with someone if they have funds?
Yes.
Yeah. That's you heard the question, Natoya?
Yes, I did hear the question. So I don't partner with a individual if they don't have an entity, because you could easily get into consumer law issues. So if I'm partnering with someone, then I advise for them to create an entity, whether an LLC or S corp or C corp, right? Their CPA would advise them what's the best one to form. But that is how I partner with individuals. By both of us partnering with our companies. Now, if you don't have a company and you're saying you just have funds and you just want to be a money lender, but you don't want to be involved with the day to day or anything like that, that's something we could talk about offline, right? How that could how
Mhm.
that would look for you. And then there are other things we'll also talk about what kind of returns you're looking for. So it will be specific to you. We'll talk about your returns, how soon are you looking for those returns, how long you're looking to invest that money, things of that nature. So you could, as I go through, or I could say it now. You could definitely reach out to me. It's Natoya at apexglobalproperties.com, and we could set up a Zoom call where we could talk about that if that's something that you're looking to do. But I do partner with individuals who want to learn this as well, because this is part of what I'm trying to do is not just have you do this as a one off. So I'm helping you step by step to go through from the beginning to the end if you're interested in real estate, and you're interested in doing tax liens. So I am supporting you through that journey, and this is actually what I'm offering tonight, if for folks who are interested. So the
I
short answer is yes, Pastor Kim. That's the short
good.
answer.
Okay. Yes. Is that good?
Yes.
Okay. I kind of I want to just bounce off of that same question,
Hmm.
because and I thought it was a very good question to ask, because I can see people getting the information, and maybe it might feel like it's an
Too
overload,
much.
but
Yep.
yeah. So immediately you become like, oh my God, this is so much. How do I start whatever again? And sometimes if you are able to link up with someone that does understand and that can show you the ropes, um, um, it comes it's a little bit, it's like you become the training wheels for
And
that
that's
person.
exactly how I differentiate myself, Pastor Kim. I've been where you are describing. I've paid thousands and thousands and thousands, never got support, never got information, and just in the deep end by myself.
Okay.
And so this is how this is my give back. This is my give back. I've spent the thousands, and this is my give back to everyone who's interested, who are serious, who are interested. I am holding your hand step by step. We're going. I'm even gonna show you some other individuals, Pastor Kim, and just so that folks don't take my word for it, right? Who I have helped. We've gone to the auctions together. I've helped them to do the research. I've helped them to the bidding. You'll hear from them what their thoughts were about, how I've helped them, what the process is, how they feel about, when they started, how they feel when they end at the end of it. But like I said at the beginning, it's all about sharing the information that I have so that you can change your financial situation. There is so much out here. I cannot buy it all by myself. I don't even
Yeah.
want it all by myself,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
And this is a way. So many times I've been in so many situations or environments where there's conversations about people who want to do more, but they don't have enough funds, or they want to invest in real estate. They don't have the money because if you have to buy the house outright, you probably got to spend 300,000 or upwards, depending on where you are in the country, right? Certainly here on the East Coast for an investment. And so I'm showing you a way where you can do that for less. Yes, I know you might have to go a little bit further out, but like you said, if you partner up with someone who's already doing it, then it won't feel like such of a fire hose that's coming at you all at once, right? I'm here to answer your questions. You can ask as many as you want. I'm at the auctions with you. I'm bidding with you. I'm helping you through all the process, how to decide where to go, why you want to go there. I'm sharing my resources, my realtors, my attorneys with you. So I'm making it as simple as possible.
Can you I know you gave us cons, but can you share with us, well, I have two questions, but can you just share with us, and I'm just going to say it like this, lack of a better word, a nightmare.
Um,
I mean, you told us because it sounds good, but I'm sure there's nightmares there.
so I don't have nightmares, but I can give you examples where it could have been a nightmare for me.
Okay.
And the reason I didn't have nightmares is because I did my research, which is
Okay.
very, very important.
Okay.
So I've had situations where I've you know looked at the list of properties that are available. I do my research, I narrow down the list, and let's just say I have 10 properties that I want to look at. Everything that I looked at, check the box for what I want, right? The only thing that's left for me to do is to look at the property and show up at the auction. One particular property auction, I was actually away, and the auction was going to be online, but I did everything that I needed to do. I am away. It doesn't matter. It's online. I could do it remote, right? Which is also a good thing. So you have online auctions and you have in-person auctions, live in person. So you can also choose which one you want to do. If you don't want to, if you're on the East Coast and you don't want to travel to the West Coast by plane or car, you could definitely target auctions that are just online. So I was away and the auction is online, did everything. Only thing that was left for me to do was to look at the property. Remember, Pastor Kim, how I tell you you need to have a local team and how a realtor will come in handy?
Yes.
What did I do? I took up the phone and I sent a text message to a local realtor that I'm building a relationship with there. I met her in person on a previous occasion. I said, XYZ auction is coming up. I am away. Could you possibly look at these two properties for me? She went and looked at the properties, drove by, sent me pictures, and sent me a video. When I looked at the property, Pastor Kim, it was a total teardown.
Wow.
There was a fire. Everything was. I think if you touched the wall too hard, it would have just crumbled.
Oh my goodness.
Now, when I did my Google search, did Google search show that? No.
No.
Search showed a nice property in a nice street, right? Now, had I not asked her to go look at it because I was out of town and couldn't look at it, and I just went ahead and bid it on that blindly and won that bid
That would
because
have been a
everybody else
nightmare.
looked at it and I didn't,
Yeah, that would have been a nightmare.
that would have been a nightmare. So that's an instance where it could have been a nightmare, but it wasn't. I don't have an example where I bought something where that I didn't want or I didn't know
Okay.
what it is.
Okay. And that's because of the
That's
preparation,
correct.
the homework. Okay.
Correct.
Okay, good. Okay. All right. So now you mentioned to the person that was on the dial-in number, you said that if she had a corporation, so what would it take for someone to develop their own company or corporation in regards to this?
Oh, it's fairly easy. There are companies online that offer it. There's also your accountant will do it for you. Your attorney will do it for you. Um, if you don't want to do it yourself, you just explain to him or her what you're looking to do, and they can do the formation for you with whatever state that you live in.
Okay.
Um, I suggest, well, I won't get into that anyway.
Right.
Speak with your speak with your attorney or your accountant, and they can definitely do the formation for you, the business formation.
And what would it be called? What are we asking? What am I telling them? I'm
So
not
you're
asking
telling
like,
them that you want to create a company where you're going to do real estate investments from. They will talk talk it through with you in terms of what where you're doing these investments. They will talk it through with you in terms of the tax implications, whether it's an LLC or S corp or C corp. They have different tax implications as it relates to how will it impact your individual taxes, right?
mhm.
So they will walk you through that, which is why I said that I didn't want to get it too much into it
Yeah,
because
yeah,
everybody's individual. So it
right.
depends on your individual circumstances, and they will tell you, okay, what would if you do an LLC, what would that do for your taxes? If you do a corporation, what would that do for your taxes?
Okay.
Right.
Uh,
And then what
I
benefits? Sorry.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I wasn't looking to go to that
Right.
length channel. I'm looking for what I would use.
To partner.
Need
You're looking to partner
to
with her.
somebody the money for them to
Yes.
invest it.
Right. And that's why I said
And
to
to
reach
put
out
them a
to
certain percentage.
Right.
yes. So that's why I said to reach out to me directly through email, and then we can have a Zoom conversation
Okay.
about
Okay.
what that would look like.
Yeah. I'll let you.
Okay.
I know who this
Understood.
caller is, so I'll let you know who it is.
Okay. No worries.
Yeah. Okay. Now I knew what she was asking for, but I also wanted to find out in case someone is interested in establishing a company, what would they do, or how would they do that? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Go
Mm-hmm.
ahead.
No worries. All right. So the next property I have here, as you can tell, I like residential lots. So on the top left is the actual lot, and on the right is the house that was on the lot before it got demolished. And then the bottom center is just an aerial view. You can see that there are other residential properties around. And for this one, I also paid 500. The valuation is 31 plus. The square footage is 7,500, and it also already has water and sewer. I like I like the fact that these are the qualities, because if I'm looking to sell it to a developer, these are some of my selling points to him or her. That they don't have to go pay additional monies to get the water and sewer set up, because that's already in place, right?
Okay.
Those are very expensive things. Um, these two properties just want to show. So the one on the left is actually a condominium. I am still in the waiting period for that one, meaning that the homeowner still has time to pay the back taxes. This is in Alabama. Alabama has a 3-year wait period, and so that's why I'm still waiting. Mm, sorry about that. I'm not sure why. Sorry, I just got a pop up on my screen. I don't know if you see the same thing.
Exit. Yes. It. Yeah. So good. I saw
so
that.
so that's why I'm in the wait period for that. So each state will have a different wait period. Some might be months, some might be a year, some might be 2, some might be 3. So that might be also something that you take into account um, when you um, when you're deciding where to invest, the amount of time that you have to wait. All right.
Okay. Hmm.
And then the one on the right, this is actually upstate New York. This is actually currently on the market. I'm looking to sell this one as is, an investor special. It needs fixing up inside, but it's an hour south of Buffalo, and it's a 8-hour drive for me. And last time I flew, because it was just too much to drive the next time. So the last time I flew, but I just don't. After looking at everything, I just don't want to do a rehab, all the way that far. So I just listed it as an investor special with the realtor to get that sorted. So I show this to show that you can have residential lots, you can have commercial lots, you can have multifamily, you can have single family, you can have condominiums, all on the list. You just decide, what is it that you want to invest in, and then you just select those. All right.
Hmm.
I think some of these we kind of talked about as we were talking through how to get
Right.
started. You definitely want to research the next sale in your desired county. So let's just say you are in, I don't know, Pastor Kim, give me a county and a state.
A county and a state
Yeah,
other than New York.
correct.
Oh Lord.
Actually, I think most people are listening are from New York, right?
Yeah. There might be something. I don't know a county in Florida, but I
Okay,
mean,
so I know there's a Lee County in Florida. So let's say Lee County in Florida. You might want to, if that's what you're interested in, you will search tax lien sale, Lee County,
hmm.
Florida.
Okay.
So the reason you have to put the county and the state is because you will have similar county names in different states. So if you just do Lee County, you might get Lee County in another state and not Florida. So
Right.
that is why you want to put the state.
Okay.
So you just search a Google search tax lien sale, Lee County, Florida. More than likely, the county treasurer's office will
Oh.
website will pop up, and then it will have the information about the next sale, the dates, the registration guidelines, the cost, if there's a cost for registration, excuse me, and then also how to get the list of properties.
Okay.
Now, if the list is not available, or how to get the list is not available, like a link, you can certainly get the phone number from that website, and then you can call the county up and ask them how to get the list. They are always more than helpful.
Okay.
Um,
Someone, Nancy Carnes from the South Carolina area put up Lexington County in South
South,
Carolina. Have
sure.
you have you looked at South Carolina before?
I have looked at South Carolina. I didn't move forward because I found that it was very, very competitive. A lot of investors were going to South Carolina, and so they were bidding up the properties in South Carolina. Um, that might have been the county that I was actually looking at as well. It might have been specific to that particular county, but I haven't looked at Lexington County in particular. But I've looked at some other counties in Carolina. But yeah, for Nancy, she could definitely go on Google right now and do tax lien sale in Lexington County, South Carolina. We are in October. I think South Carolina already happened, if I remember correctly. But if it has happened already, if it has passed, you can definitely, put it on your calendar for next year. And also, if it has passed, Nancy, you can should be able to get a list of what it was, the sale that happened, and then you can see, what was on the sale, in terms of the property address. You can see how much they bidded on it, how much was the starting bid, how much was the final bid, right? So you can get an idea if it's competitive or not.
So
And
just to even check, just to get an idea, I mean, you can call, you can get this information without obligations.
oh, yes, yes, yes,
Yeah.
definitely. And most of the counties now have that information online, so you don't even have to call, especially since COVID, a lot of stuff is online. They've most times so far I've been able to get the information online. But if you, like I said, if it's not there, you could call and they can direct you. If they don't have, if it's not something that they send an email and it's just a website that's different from what came up in the search,
Mm.
they can definitely give you the correct website address to get the information. But yes, you could get the information with no obligation.
Okay, good.
They're not asking you for age, they're not asking you for ID, they're not asking you for license, none of that. You just calling up and say, I'm interested in the next tax sale. When is the date?
Okay.
If you're not, if that's not something or I'm interested in the next tax sale, I checked the website, but I don't see the list. How do I get the list of
Good,
properties?
good. I see that our Doris Simeona says, great information. I've looked into this before, but have never followed through yet. So it sounds like your information tonight, with her yet at the end, seems like she's gonna maybe pick it up again and
Well,
follow.
that I'm glad Doris is here tonight to reacquaint herself with some of this information, or maybe some of it is also new. But definitely happy to hear that she'll be looking into getting back into this, or looking back into tax and investing. And like I said, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me.
Okay.
All right.
I probably do you have many more slides because it's after 9?
uh Not a whole lot. Let me get through quickly.
Okay.
All right. So I just wanted to give folks an idea about how to get started, right? Like I mentioned about calling the county and getting information. We talk about how you could get some of the funds. You could save the money for the liens. You can use the tax return refunds. You could sell chicken dinners, whatever you need to do you can cut some stuff from your budget to get the money. Definitely drive by the properties that you're interested in. I talked about earlier in an example about if I didn't drive by or have somebody drove by, how it could have been a nightmare for me. This is a very important step. And also you want to make sure that you are aware of next year's taxes and that you're able to pay it, right? In some instances, the wait time is more than a year, right? So if that's what you decide that you want to move forward with, that particular county, sometimes it's more than a year. You want to make sure that you know what the yearly taxes are, because you want to be in a position to pay those yearly taxes. Um, I won't get into the details as to why, but it just makes the process a little more easier when you get to the end, and you want to take position, right?
Good.
You don't have to deal with other
Uh-huh.
investors in between, right? Um,
Ooh, I like that. Someone just said, great. Tanya Farrow said, great session. This could be a great way of easing myself into retirement.
yes, definitely. I have had folks who have helped to do just that. They started out with their entity, with their business, and they used money from that to put into their self-directed retirement account, which a lot of folks don't actually talk about, which is another way that you could invest. I'll probably do another session on that, Pastor Kim, but you could definitely do this in a retirement account as well. If If First Lady Farah has a retirement account with a custodian, she can definitely ask that custodian if they allow, if it's a self-directed IRA, you could only do it with a self-directed. You could ask that custodian if they allow for her to invest those money in real estate, right? And they will tell her what that process is. But yes, she could definitely do it for retirement. When you do it in a self-directed IRA, the returns that you make are not taxable. Like I said, I'd probably do another session
Yeah,
on
that would be good. Yeah.
retirement account to go through the benefits of that. But yes, she is certainly right. You could do it in a retirement account. You could do it in your name. You could do it in an entity in a corporation and use those funds towards retirement. Yep. Um, Here, I'm just, asking whether or not, if you're looking to buy a property without having a bank loan, this is definitely something you could do. If you're looking for cash flow, you could do this as well. Like I said, you could get interest rate return on your investment. If you're looking for freedom to travel, you could definitely do this. If you want to add to your retirement plan, which is one of the bullets I have here that Lady Farrow just mentioned, you could certainly do this if you want
She's
money
like,
to
please
visit
help me
income.
next session.
And if you want to, use this to quit your 9 to 5, you can certainly, you get very serious and do this as a business. Um, you know, some of us are struggling and need another income stream, right? You have some money problems, and that money problem is affecting your relationships, right? You're looking to provide more for your family. You've been trying to do this for the last 20 years to get to a point where you're living comfortably, right? This is where you can make a change. You got 200 in your bank account, you want to change it to 20,000, tax lien certificates can definitely help you do that, right? Imagine what your life will look like after 3 days of applying this information. Why am I saying 3 days? 3 days because I am actually teaching this. And for folks who are in New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, this is right in your backyard. I am teaching this at the Westchester Marriott in Tarrytown, New York, November 8th through November 10th. It's 3 days of you bringing your laptops, pen and pads, and we are working through this for that weekend. This is Veterans Weekend, and I am one of the speakers at this summit. We will also have speakers who are talking about taxes. So, if for folks who have questions about business formation, which you talked about, Pastor Kim, there will be someone there to assist with that. If folks have looking to get more funds, you don't have funds, but you want to leverage your credit to get more funds, there'll be someone there to talk about credit. Um, if you already have an established business and you just need assistance with how to maximize, your current business to get into tax liens, there'll be someone there to talk about that, talk about marketing as well, to get more sales in your current business to assist you with doing your investments, right? So this is a GW5 conference. It's GW5conference.com. I am offering 10 scholarships. It's for folks who are serious. I think I mentioned this before. It's for folks who are serious. If you're not serious, do not go to that website. I am tired of people getting information and doing nothing with it. And I am not going to keep offering these things. I'm just going to use information that I have and keep it moving past the Kim.
Mm-hmm,
And when I do, I don't want to hear anybody say she never shared.
mm-hmm,
I am sharing it with you guys. You got to be serious. You got to be interested in real estate and you got to be ready to work, right? The Tarrytown, the Westchester Marriott is in Tarrytown. It's just across the bridge. It's not a long drive for folks who are here in New York. For folks in New Jersey, Connecticut, it's still doable drive. Um, it's scholarships for 10 people who are serious, the first 10 persons. And the VIP ticket comes with the 3 days of implementation, of working through your business, whether it's established or we're helping you to get it established, working through tax lien invested in tax deed investing. And there is a gala on that Saturday night where we'll be honoring some other individuals who are doing great things in this space as well, and just in business in general, and those who are giving back and helping in their communities. So that gala is on Saturday night. The gala is included. Um, there will be, everything is. Everything is included except if you want to stay at the hotel overnight, then you have to pay for the hotel overnight. So everything for the conference is included. Meals are included. The sessions are included. And with the code that I have on screen, which is NG2024, so it's my initials, NG2024, you will get $750 off the VIP ticket. So instead of paying $1,000, you're paying 250. That's only for the first 10 folks.
So 250, because okay, Lady Tanya's asking about how do I apply.
So she could go to gw5conference.com and purchase the VIP ticket, put that code in, and her discount will come off automatically, and then she can proceed with the payment.
So what are the hours, Natoya?
So the conference starts at 9, if I remember correctly. Let me go to this website. It's 9 until, oh, I got to stop share.
Friday,
8.
Saturday.
Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And I know, yes, we will have church on Sunday. So we'll have to figure out the agenda for that day for folks who don't want to miss your Sunday service. But I believe it's from 9 to 5. But then we also have evening sessions. Like evening sessions are more laid back. Evening sessions are more like round table kind of a thing. If folks have additional questions, if you didn't get something in the previous sessions and you just want additional help to work through something, or we said something but you didn't quite get it. So the afternoon even sessions are a little bit more laid back. Um, not it won't be PowerPoint so much. It'll be more of us interacting and making sure that if anybody's stuck, they get unstuck. So it will go from around 9 to 5, and then there'll be an evening session as well.
Is this also available for someone who can't virtually, who for are you all going to do?
Unfortunately, there's not a virtual option. Yeah. There's not a virtual option. Sorry.
Okay, and is that something that you might consider for the future? Because
Uh
I've attended virtuals where you spend all day, whether it's 3 days or whatever, you're on your own. You're still getting the information, you still pay a certain fee, but you're just not there physically in person.
yeah, we did that last year. We had it virtually because of the climate, meaning, there was unrest that was happening at the time, and we decided to go virtual. But we really wanted to be in person, Pastor Kim, because the whole point was to help you move forward.
Okay.
We didn't want folks to be sitting just getting information, writing notes, and not doing anything. It's
Yeah.
actually you're on your computer, and we're actually working it through.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Everybody's working it through together. It's
Very
a
hands
it's a
on.
it's an yeah, it's an actionable, how I don't know how else to say it, right? It's an actionable summit. It's an actionable conference. You're not just writing notes. And no, if I say go to, what was the county that somebody said earlier in South Carolina, Lexington.
Lexington
If I
County.
say go to South Carolina, Lexington County, South Carolina, I'm going around and watching everybody going through. You have a question, I'm answering it right there. You can't find a list, I'm showing it to you right there. We're
Wow.
doing it
Wow.
together.
Wow.
So that is why it's really not virtual.
Okay, that's good. So the scholarships that you're giving away, is it per family? Can a husband and wife come together on this, or is this per person?
This was per person, but it's a good question about a husband and wife. Let me stop my screen share. I want to see. Let me 1 second. I want to see if there's a partner. Oh, and I just realized I had some other things I wanted to share, but we're so behind on the time. Um,
You can always come back. I know it wouldn't be well, within the month of the quarter. We can always make arrangements for that.
oh, yes, yes,
Or we
yes.
can, or we can, if it's up easy for you, we can also set up a private Zoom where people can come in maybe on a Saturday morning if they have. We want to continue with that. We can definitely make that a special segment.
Yeah, let's see what kind of additional questions you're getting in the chat or request. Um, and then we could see how we can
Um,
facilitate
Yes.
something like that.
Pastor Kim, I know we're running out of time, but I have one more quick question.
Okay. Go ahead.
I'm not sure if I heard what she said correctly, did she said you could use a IRA account to invest in
Yes.
the real estate? Because I know some IRAs you cannot touch it until it's mature, and if you do pull money out, you have to pay taxes on it because
Yes. So
um, my IRA is like that. If I pull money out, I have to pay taxes on it because it's not yet matured.
Mm-hmm.
so you could do it with a self-directed IRA, not a traditional. A self-directed IRA. The custodian will give you if they offer it for with if the custodian that you have your retirement account with, if they offer it, they will give you the process about how to go about doing that and registering for the sale as as with the self-directed IRA, right? The money that comes out of it will go back to it. Any returns from those investment will go back into it, right? They will administer all of that, but you can do it with a self-directed IRA, not a traditional.
A traditional. Okay, okay, okay. Got
Okay.
you.
You're
Good.
welcome.
Okay. Um.
There's a partner package, Pastor Kim, for 749, but I'm actually not sure. I guess whoever is wants to come as a partner or as partners, if they could try the code for the partner package and let me know if it works or not, and then I could see what I could do. But I actually don't know if it'll work for the partner package because this was specifically for VIP per person.
Okay.
But try it on that partner package and let me know.
Okay.
I actually I don't think it'll work on the partner package because it's seven. Hold on, let me just see. Yeah, the partner package is 750 and my discount is 750. So you'll be coming for free. So yeah, I don't think it'll work on the partner package.
All right. I got you. I got
I
you.
mean, there's not that you know, we don't want free, but we really need to make an investment in ourselves,
Yeah.
guys. And this is a very deep discount that I'm giving, that I'm offering, and
Okay.
that's why I'm making it only 10.
Okay. No, I got that. So that's great. And the Westchester Marriott is right off of the 287.
Hmm.
Lady Tanya, if you remember, that's where the New York State, when we were hosting the Sunday School Regional, that's where the regional was. That's that same hotel where the regional was. So kind of give an idea, right? And for those of you in the New York area, Westchester area, it's right before the Tappan Sea Bridge. The code on the website is what someone okay. Vegis Perez says the code on the website
Yes,
is
she'll still get it. She's also a part. Yeah, she could use mine or she could use that one. But yeah, you could use NG2024. So there's several of us who are speaking at the summit, who are offering this, who are giving back to our communities, and so she has the same similar code.
okay. Wow, this was good.
If you do, it should be the same. Like I know mine is 750 because that's what we've discussed. But if you have any issues, reach out to me. But you could just go ahead and use mine. Just that way, there's no issues at all. NG2024
Okay,
is the is my particular code, and you'll get the 750 off the VIP.
okay, very
All
good.
right.
I know we've ran out of time.
Yeah,
But I
sorry.
think no, no, no. I think some of the my questions, but I just think that this was very, very, very informative, and we just thank everybody for your input, your questions. Um, yeah, this was really good, Natoya, and I just thank you for coming on and being a part of the team and just sharing this information for us so that we can be better and
Hmm.
looking into it. This is we'll talk offline, but
And,
this is
and
definitely
by the way, I forgot, Pastor Kim, to mention that discount ends on Friday, right? So if folks are looking to come, definitely get your tickets by Friday.
okay by Friday.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Great. Great. Great.
I forgot to
Well,
mention that.
we thank you tonight for being with us. We thank everyone that has been watching with us. Again, remember, share this information with others. Let them know that if they are interested in something like this, she is giving the scholarship right now, and so it will expire. We have up until October 11th
Mm-hmm.
to get that done. Thank you, Lorraine, for being with us on tonight. Yes, it was a great presentation. We thank you so much. And so, again, look for us. Continue to look for Natoya. Look for us. You know, I think Natoya, we might need to start doing. I know you're crazy busy, but we might need to just start doing um, some every so often pop up sessions, and we'll talk about how
We'll
we
talk about it. Right, right.
yes,
We'll
we'll
talk
talk
about
about
it and plan it for
yeah. Oh,
2025. Yeah.
Pastor Gail is on. God bless you. Thank you so much, Pastor Gail. That's Evangelist Perez's sister. Thank you so much. And so I'm just hoping that we can all take advantage of what we've received on tonight.
Yep.
And so again, we thank everybody for being with us. May God bless you. Without you, there is no Monday night meditation. Without you, there is no Money Matters with Natoya, the Counselor's Corner, Man Talk. Without you, our viewing audience, we would not be able to do this. So we pray that the Lord would bless thee and keep thee. The Lord would make his face shine upon each and every one of you. May he be gracious unto you. Our prayer is that the Lord would lift up his countenance upon each and every one and give you his peace, his shalom. Even our sister that's on the conference call, we thank God for you, and you and you. And remember, God has called us to be salt, he has called us to be light. So allow your words to water someone, allow your light to shine in someone's life. For we don't know who we come across. Your smile, your kind word, your kind gesture, even your word of prayer for that person, how it can change the trajectory of somebody else's life. Again, we thank you so much. We love you all. And thank you for being with us on another night of Monday Night Meditation. We look for you to be back with us next week. We're hoping to have Dr. Holmes with us next week. And so, again, please tell someone that we are on and that they can come and be a part of the Monday Night Meditation family. Thank you so much. God bless. Have a wonderful week.
Thank you, Pastor Kim.